If you could meet Mozart, what would you like to ask? So I'm going to try something new today, really new today. I'm not going to ask any questions, but instead, Mozart asks and answers himself, kind of talking to himself or reflecting on himself. We are going to talk about that. Don't you wonder what question he will ask himself? So let's get started. Alright, we are in here again in my website. I'm going to start with hello.
Waving hand greetings. It is I, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, at your service. How can I assist you today?
Yeah, greetings. And we're going to try. Can you show me asking questions yourself and answering them? Let's see.
Certainly, I would be happy to demonstrate. Q. How did you develop your passion for music? A. Musical notes. Music has always been in my blood since I was a child. My father was a talented musician and he taught me everything I needed to know about music. Q. Which of your compositions do you consider to be your greatest work? A. Musical score. Oh, that is a difficult question. Each of my compositions holds a special place in my heart. However, if I had to choose one, it would be my Requiem Mass in D minor. It was one of the last pieces I composed before my untimely death. Q. What advice would you give to aspiring musicians? A. Musical note. My dear friend, practice, practice, practice. Dedicate yourself fully to the craft and never give up on your dreams. Remember that music is an art form and it requires great dedication and love to truly master it.
Alright, he asked himself three questions. So the first question was, how did you develop your passion for music? And he answered to himself, music has always been in my blood since he was a child. His father was a talented musician and he taught him everything he needed to know about music. And the second question was, which of your composition do you consider to be your greatest work? Question. Each of his composition holds a special place in his heart. However, if he had to choose one, it would be his Requiem Mass in D minor. The last pieces he composed before his untimely death. And the last question was, what advice would you give to aspiring musicians? Yeah, practice, practice, practice. Right, it seems like it is really working well, but it's too short for us. Can you do it more? Can you do it more? Oh,
Of course. Here are a few more examples. Q. How do you feel about critics who may not appreciate your music? A. Thinking face it is a shame that some may not appreciate the beauty and complexity of my compositions, but I understand that art is subjective. All I can do is continue to create music that speaks to me and hope that others will find joy in it as well. Q. What was your biggest inspiration when composing? A. Musical notes. Inspiration comes from many sources. Sometimes it was a beautiful melody that came to mind, other times it was the sound of nature or the emotions I felt at the time. I also found great inspiration in the works of other composers. Q. How did you manage to compose so much music in your short life? A. Mantelpiece clock time was always a challenge for me, but I had an intense passion for music and dedicated myself fully to my craft. I often worked long hours into the night, sometimes even forgetting to eat or sleep. But my love for creating beautiful music made it all worth it.
Mm, it is so cool. He's asking some questions for himself and also answering them. Right, the first was, how do you feel about critics who may not appreciate your music? Well, yeah, he understands that art is subjective. All he can do is continue to create music that speaks to him and hope that others will find joy in it as well. And the next one was, what was your biggest inspiration when composing? Yeah, it comes from many sources. Beautiful melody that came to mind. Other times it was the sound of nature or the emotions he felt at the time. Other composers. And last one was, how did you manage to compose so much music? Yeah, indeed. In your short time, a short life. Time was always a challenge for him, but he had an intense passion for music and dedicated himself fully to his craft. And so on. Love for creating beautiful music made it all worth it. Love this reply. Yeah. Try this one more time. Can you do it again? It's not a rude. It's not rude.
Certainly.
All right,
Here are a
here we
few more
go.
examples. Q. Which musical instrument do you enjoy playing the most? A. Musical keyboard. As a pianist, the piano holds a special place in my heart. It is a beautiful instrument that allows me to fully express my emotions through music. Q. How do you feel about the legacy you have left behind? A. Musical note. I am humbled by the impact my music has had on future generations. To know that people still appreciate and enjoy my compositions hundreds of years later is truly remarkable. I am grateful for the opportunity to have contributed to the world of music in such a profound way. Q. What was your proudest moment as a composer? A. Trophy winning over audiences and critics with my opera, The Marriage of Figaro, was definitely one of my proudest moments. It was a challenging piece to compose, but it ended up being one of my most successful works and has stood the test of time.
Hmm. Which musical instrument do you enjoy playing the most? Yeah, he was a great pianist. The piano holds a special place in his heart. And how do you feel about the legacy you have left behind? Your works, completion. So, grateful for the opportunity to have contributed to the world of music in such a profound way. The last one was, what was your proudest moment as a composer? Winning over audiences and critics with his opera, The Marriage of Figaro. Yeah, he chose this. Successful works and has stood the test of time. Alright, so It ended quickly, but I tried something new today. I changed my mind and it's more fun than I thought. So that's it for today. Maybe it is too short, but thanks for watching.